Beautiful.
Hello, lovers of the world. This is Cinta speaking. I really love concerts. I will go to a concert even if I am not super familiar with that artist because I just love live music and it is so special and magical and beautiful to me. She is very gorgeous to me. That's exactly what I did when I went to the national concert last night. Yes, that's right. I went to the national concert last night. I initially wanted to film this vloggy storytime video when I got home, but I was wanting to sleep, so I decided to put it off today. So if you have watched my concert vlog series that I just put out, I'm gonna try and do more individual story times so that there is less workload for me at the end of the year. I will do another reflection video where I kind of summarize all the concerts I went to in one video, but kind of save myself some time in scripting everything. And at the end of the year, I will talk about majority of the details in their specific vlogs, such as this one, and then kind of summarize my thoughts on the year in concerts in a different vlog, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's just for those who are really interested in my concert video series. Anyway, so the national concert happened in 24th of February and the venue was at Sparks Arena. Now, actually, I would classify myself as a very, very casual listener of the national. I bought tickets to this I would say 3 reasons. It would be a lie to say that I went into the show knowing 50% of the songs that they played, and that's okay. I mean, I'm just here to support artists and I like the national enough to pay for the ticket and pay for a t-shirt such as this. I actually bought tickets in, I think, December because they've been advertising this for ages and I just kept seeing advertisements for the show, and at the time I just had nothing to look forward to in 2024. Usually I would have shows or something else. At that time last year I had like a trip to Brisbane planned out, and I think I had 2 concerts already lined up. But last year in December, I just had nothing to look forward to. I kept thinking about the national concert and I was on the fence about it for ages. And then my friend, who's a really big fan of the national, said he was going to the concert. And I was like, oh, good for you. You're not usually a concert person. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, I kind of felt like if I went to the concert in Auckland, and even though he's going to the concert in Brisbane, I felt like if we attended the same concert, I would feel a little bit closer to him, just in spirit. I think I'm just that kind of sentimental person. So that was one of the reasons why I was thinking really hard about going to buy tickets to the show, even though I wasn't like a super, super big fan, right? And then one day I was just scrolling through Instagram and one of my favorite artists, Phaser Days, was announced to be the opening act for the Auckland show. And I was like, you know what? I will buy tickets because I love Phaser Day. That's why I bought the tickets to the national. I think I just needed that little push, and I was like, you know what? I do want to see Phaser Days again. Like immediately after I bought the tickets, I felt so much more optimistic about life. I think it was just like just the difference it makes to have something to look forward to. It's really unparalleled. So, looking forward to the concert. And then actually, I got this gig job thing going on where I do data collection on site for live music performances, and I saw that they were looking for somebody to work on the night of the national, and I was like, you know what, I'll take it. So basically, I was working for a little bit, 2 hours or 3 hours before the actual show started. But eventually, after my shift ended, I did end up going inside. Even while I was working, I was doing my data collection thing. The merch stand was already open, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this before it runs out. Because I already had a look at the merch online to see what kind of designs were available. And I was like a bit skeptical about whether or not I was willing to buy the merch. I think I've gotten a lot better at saving money because usually before I used to just buy t-shirts if I went to a concert, but now I'm a little bit more selective, which is good. Then I found this t-shirt I thought was really cute. I was actually debating between this design and the other, but I ended up settling on this one because the other t-shirt design was black, and I wasn't really a fan of black t-shirts because I don't really wear them a lot. And I really like the shade of off-white, and I like this design of a lizard. I'm not really sure what that refers to, but I still think it's really cute. It is a pet peeve of mine to have the better design at the back. I'm like, why can't you just put it at the front? Please put it at the front, guys. Come on. I think I mentioned this in the Lord segment of my other concert video where it has such a cool design, but why is it at the back? Like I had a backpack on that day, on the day of the concert, and nobody could see the bloody design. It's like you can only see this front. I was like, Anyway, moving on. I also did want to buy this poster, and I was really tempted to buy the poster, but it was $70, and this t-shirt was 65 New Zealand dollars, by the way, and I felt like I could justify buying an overpriced t-shirt. I just couldn't justify buying a $70 poster. I didn't really want to carry a rolled up poster with me the entire night. But anyway, I decided not to buy it. They also had one Phaser Days merch, and it was a t-shirt I already own, which is a bummer because I would love to buy more merch from Phaser Days. It's just a matter of her actually releasing new designs and new things. But Phaser Days, please, I would buy what you have. I like them. Anyway, so I sat in my seat after my shift. I got 3 vodka Red Bulls in one go because I felt like I couldn't be bothered walking up and down to get more drinks. So I decided to just get all of them in one go. Funnily enough, a few days before the concert, I got this email from the organizers saying that I got relocated. And I think this happens a lot with Sparks Arena. If they don't sell enough tickets, or if they don't sell out, they kind of move people around, shuffle people around so that the venue looks more filled in, or they block off the upper level sections so that people who had bought tickets at the upper levels will be moved down further down. They only do that closer and closer to the show when it's become clear that they will not sell out in time, if that makes sense. So I love it when they do that because I get to keep this fun ticket. I love keeping tickets like these. These are fun. I love little memorabilia, stuff like that. So I'm actually really happy because originally it was just like, a ticket on your app, but because I got relocated, I got to. So I sat in my seat, and funnily enough, I did have people sitting next to me in the same row. But then when they realized that nobody else was going to sit in the row further down, they decided to just move further down. And so they moved, and then I basically had like several seats to myself. So I ended up spreading out a little bit. I put my drinks in one side and I put my little bag on the other side. I was really happy with my view, and I actually took lots of videos because with me with my relationship with the National is that, again, I don't have all of their songs memorized, or I don't know all of their songs. Even before the show, I really did try very hard to listen to as much of their discography. So at this point, I have listened to Laugh Track, 2 Pages of Frankenstein. I listened to that in the months prior. I have listened to Boxer and an Alligator. And if I was more efficient about it, I could have definitely listened to their entire discography before the concert. But I was just not in the mood because with the National, that's another beauty of live music, is that when you go to a live music show, the songs that you're already familiar with, they take on a new context, a new meaning, a new significance when you hear them performed live and in a completely different location. They sound familiar. So I know that I've listened to them before, probably through the setlist playlist that I found, or because they were from the album and I just completely forgot about them or something. But because I was listening to them live, I was taking videos of all the songs that I thought sounded good, so that when I came home, I can listen to them and try and find them later on. Anyway, I just want to go back a little bit to my observations of the evening. So the demographic in terms of the fan base is a little bit all over the place, but not as all over the place as it could have been. Definitely a lot more people on the older side. I mean, to be fair, the National is a pretty old band. Like, they've been around for a long time. I would actually compare the demographic to quite similar to the demographic of the Killers concert. People on the older side, a lot more white people, but that's fair. There were some like POC, but definitely a lot more white people. There were some people who are on the younger side too, definitely around my age. And there were people who I categorize in my head as girly pops, which is basically like people who are young and wear cool outfits. Most of them are women, but sometimes they're also men and non-binary people. And in my head, they're like, oh, my fellow people. Oh yeah, I went by myself to this concert. But what happened was that I ended up meeting some very, very nice people while I was doing my data collection. They were really sweet. I ended up getting this girl's Instagram, and hopefully I can follow up on the friendship, but they were really nice. They were girly pops for sure. So I was really happy. Now, the saddest thing was that because I got inside a bit later than I initially planned because of my job, when I went inside, the first thing I did was actually buy some drinks. And when I finally got to my seat, Phaser Days was playing the last 2 or 3 songs of her set. So I pretty much missed the entire reason why I bought tickets for this concert were. But luckily enough for me, they ended. The song that I managed to catch was my favorite song from her, which is "Lucky Girl." Getting closer, as we get closer to you. Oh my god. I know sometimes I find I don't care about you. I know I'm a lucky girl. I'm a lucky girl. And it is one of her most famous songs ever. So I can see why she decided to play it for the national. And that's one other thing why I was really happy with the national getting her on. I just wish that more people would like her. And she is getting a lot more shows in North America. I think she's on tour with certain festivals over there, but I really hope that she blows up soon and that we get more music as well. Woohoo!
No idea what's happening. Is this how this whole thing is gonna end? This is the closest I've been to going back to me when wrong. Oh, that's the gravity of something. Somehow I feel right.
This guy is just splashing in the middle of the crowd.
Be still for a second while I try and pin your flowers on. La 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 la. Can you hear me? I'm getting tired. I'm forgetting why. Oh, we're so disarming, darling. Everything we did believe. Inside our rosy life is was so worried not all things alright. We'll be alright. We have our love and perfume.
So the guys, they were very chill. They were just like, they didn't do a lot of like crowd work necessarily, except, wait, I'll talk about that a little bit later. When the lead singer was talking to the crowd, he mentioned that their last show was in 2011, which, by the way, my friend that I was talking about earlier, who was a big fan of the National, he had gone to that show back when he lived here still. And he said that the 2011 show had been in Power Station. Can you believe it? I mean, to be fair, it has been like a decade since then, but like the idea that they had gone from Power Station to Sparks Arena in 10 years is kind of an amazing feat, I would say. I'm really impressed with that. Now, another thing I thought was interesting was that not a lot of people were filming, so I was still at the very upper levels, and I definitely noticed that even the people in the pit, they weren't really filming the show as much as I've seen other people have in previous concerts. I was thinking though that this is probably the demographic of people who are going, whereas say like if it was a lot more millennials and Gen Z, it would be definitely a lot more people on their phones like filming. The concert I'm going to in March is SZA, and I was just thinking, you know what, when she performs, there's gonna be like 1 billion people like with their phones up. So I thought it was interesting, but also was not surprising at all. I don't think I mentioned this in my other concert videos, but I have started going to concerts with earplugs on, because one day I was watching this YouTuber talking about the importance of wearing ear protection when you're at a concert, and I got really scared. I mean, obviously there's people who go to more concerts than I do, or people who are actually like in the business of setting up for concerts and are actually musicians, but I go to concerts more than the average person. I went to 11 concerts last year, and I plan on going to probably 11 more this year. So all of last year, every concert I went to, I wore earplugs. Same thing for this, I wore earplugs. I've gotten a lot more used to wearing them over the time. There were times where I would kind of compare, like take out one earplug in one ear and see, and it hurt like to not have an earplug. I was like, how did I do this before wearing earplugs? But regardless, the earplugs don't really do much in terms of like it doesn't ruin the experience, by the way. I just thought it was really interesting the way that the National plays as a band. You could kind of feel the reverbs felt like a second heartbeat, which I thought was really cool. I love these wailing, screeching guitars and the very raw and vulnerable voice of the vocalist. It really makes you feel the weight of this bitter loneliness and regret that the singer feels, and it's really like powerful and immense, especially to hear it live in person. I also realized very late into the show that the lead singer was actually going into the crowd. Like the last time I was at Sparks Arena, it was for the 1975, and they had the middle screen, very big, and then they also had these like screens at the side. But for this concert, they didn't have the side screens, they only had the one in the middle. And they had the cameras pointed at the band, but it was like the graphic designed in a way to make it more like surrealist almost. Like you couldn't really see the faces of the other band members or even the singer sometimes. So it wasn't until very, very late into the night that I realized that there was a guy at the stage, and he was holding something. I wasn't sure what it was. And then I realized that he was holding the very long microphone cord of the singer, and I tried following the cord, and then I realized that he was like right in the middle of the pit. And you could only tell that it was him because there was a red light that you could follow, and you could see that he was like going from here to the sides and going back up to the stage. I was like, what? That's amazing. You would not be able to do that with several artists, like for sure. But I think because this crowd is very chill, the kind of people who go to the National are not like unhinged people because I'm trying to imagine that at a different artist's concert, and it's like, no. So the songs I was looking forward to the most that they would play was Fake Empire, Start a War, I Should Live in Salt, Terrible Love. However, out of that, they only played Fake Empire and Terrible Love, which I was a bit bummed about because I was basically waiting for the entire evening for them to play my favorite songs, but they ended up not. And I think it was more because I was bamboozled by the setlist playlist that I was listening to. I expected them to play it, but I think if I didn't have those expectations, I would have been less disappointed. But regardless, they played really, really well. I still really enjoyed it. Funny because the National's music is very like sad and dour, and depressed because I had a couple of drinks in me. I was like, woo, terrible love and I'm walking with spiders. Now, one thing that really is a big pet peeve of mine when it comes to concerts lately, people don't yell out encore anymore. Like, I think it's just the principle of it. Like, some bands will have an encore. They've planned for it already. And the audience knows that the band knows that they are expected to play again, because you can tell that they are going to come back. You should at least say it out loud. You can't just be like waiting there and like yell and like clap and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's like a thing for me. It's like a sense of courtesy. You just yell out encore or one more time. Like, I feel like you have to give shape to these expectations. I wouldn't know if it's something that's happened since COVID. Like, of course, you could make the argument that because of COVID, not a lot of people have been to a lot of concerts. And it's not as if I've been to a lot of concerts before COVID. Like I've been to several concerts before COVID, and I can't remember whether it was a thing or it was expected to yell out encore, but I still want us to do it. I was definitely yelling out encore, but the rest of the crowd was not. And it kind of bummed me out. I mean, they were still like yelling and like stamping their feet and stuff, but I feel like it's not enough. I have high standards. Something very small that we can definitely do for the band, just to make them feel like, yes, we definitely want you to come back. We want encore. We are waiting for you. That's it. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is definitely a lot longer than I expected it would be. If you liked it, please press like. And if you want to see more of my work, please subscribe. All of my social media links are down in the description, alongside my Patreon and Coffee pages if you want to support me financially. Comment down below what your favorite concerts are. Let me know what your favorite The National songs are. I wasn't really a big fan of their 2 new albums, but there was a song I really liked. It's called The Alcott, that features Taylor Swift. It would have been funny. My sister, this morning when we were on a video call, she was like, "Oh, you went to the National concert, right? Did Taylor Swift pop out?" And I was like, "No." Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. I can't wait to share my love with you again next time. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo. Oh my god, how do I end the video? Wait, hold on.